Man that faked his own demise gets caught decades later.
But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to m&rtv and hit the bell so you never miss any upload from us. Also, leave a like right now.
He faked his own death is an exclamation normally reserved for movie watchers and conspiracy theorists. Leaving it all behind, changing your name, and starting a new life 1,000 miles away is not a plan anyone really puts into practice. Or is it? When life became too much for Benny Hardin Wint, he set into motion a scheme he'd spent a lot of time thinking about. He thought no one would ever find out who he planned to become, or that a simple mistake would uncover his motive for leaving everything behind. It was September of 1989 on the sunny shores of Daytona Beach. The young couple was strolling along the beach when the man decided to take a dip in the ocean. He swam out past the breakers and disappeared. Benny Hardin Wint was lost in the surf that day, leaving behind his fiancée, Patricia Hollingsworth, and a 4-year-old daughter from a previous marriage. Hollingsworth reported him missing, launching a massive manhunt. Beach Patrol Officer Scott Peterson was working on September 24, 1989, the day Wint went missing. He recalled the day well, even decades later. "Everybody feels it," he said of someone going missing. "Everybody takes it personally." An average of 10 people die every day from drowning, and the lifeguards on one of the busiest beaches in the United States know this more than anyone. But that's one of the reasons Mr. Wint's reported drowning stuck out to those on duty. Something was off. Even back then, it struck everybody as odd that we didn't recover the victim, Peterson said. That almost never happens. Normally, if victims don't get immediately recovered by a lifeguard, their bodies wash up on the shore within a week. But not Wint. Unbeknownst to everyone on the beach that day, including Wint's fiancée, this was the first step in an elaborate plan to completely change his life, by ending it himself, but not in the way you might think. Benny Hardin Wint died that day, but William James Sweet took over right where he left off. He emerged from the water and ditched town, leaving behind all he knew. While the beach patrol searched for Wint, Street was halfway to Alabama. But Benny Wint was not forgotten by those who loved him. 2 decades after his run into the ocean, his abandoned daughter, Christy McKnight, took to the internet to find her missing father. She posted online to find her dad in hopes of saving her dying grandmother, Wint's mother. "Doctors say she should have been dead a year ago, but they say she's holding on to one thing, and we believe that she's holding on to my father," McKnight wrote. She didn't get an answer for a while, but a year later, North Carolina's Sergeant Stafy Wyatt noticed a car with a license plate light that was out. He flashed his lights, pulling over the vehicle in what would be anything but a routine traffic stop. As protocol dictates, Sergeant Wyatt asked the driver for identification. The driver did not have an ID on him, but claimed to be William James Sweet. This was a major red flag for the North Carolina officer, so he decided to bring Sweet in for questioning. What unfolded next was described by Officer Wyatt as kind of like a movie. Back at the station, Sweet was questioned about his identity, or lack thereof. But there was no Brian Sweet on record anywhere that fit the man's description. While under police custody, Sweet told the truth about who he was, admitting his real name was Benny Hardin Wint. 20 years ago, he explained, he walked into the ocean and faked his own death. Officers didn't buy the story. After all, there are very few ways to corroborate this absurd story, as Wint had discarded all of his personal identification before starting his new life. Besides, what motive did he have to leave his life and family behind? Wint had an answer for that too. He had to leave everything because he was involved with a drug ring. At the time, Wint believed that he was wanted by the authorities and was on a hit list for some of his illegal activities. He saw no way out. It was merely paranoia, Wyatt said. He was running because of the prior life he lived. Paranoia indeed, as the authorities confirmed Wint was not a wanted man in any state. He was running from nothing for all of these years. Meanwhile, Christy McKnight may have never known the truth had Sergeant Wyatt never pulled Sweet over for his minor offense. Neither his former fiancée or his daughter could be reached for official comment on the shocking news regarding Benny Wint. Additionally, Wint, Sweet, made it clear he won't be interviewed on the subject unless he is compensated. Those invested were no doubt hungry for details. They knew from past headlines how wild stories of missing identities could be.